we had I do very important secretive things for the government.
Mm-hmm.
You know that we do that often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ties us up big time.
Yeah, police are there. Always these governments calling up. They need me to do this and that. Secret missions. And, yeah.
So how are you, J. Russell Finch?
Is he the only one?
He's the
That's
only-
it. It's just going to be us and J. Russell Finch tonight.
I think
That's
so.
it. Nobody else.
Mike N says hello.
Oh, see, we've already got people interrupting the party. I wanted to bond with J. Russell Finch tonight. Let's tell each other
Mitten May
our life
Russell,
stories.
Hunter Noonan, Joe K, Unity Motorsports Garage,
Andy, what's happening, man?
Donald Scheidel,
Andy has started working on. Oh, I'm gonna mention. Do a video tomorrow.
Dolly Speed Shop,
Zali's Speed Shop.
John Shute. Hello everyone, Ford Guy here. First UTG live chat for me. Welcome, John.
Welcome.
Jay says DD Speed Shop.
DD Speed Shop. DD Speed Shop. DD Speed Shop. Got to say it 3 times.
Uncle Squirrel, Ford LTD, Peter Kovacs, Sleepy Sneakers.
We have so many Ford guys. You notice that?
Yeah, you should
How do we
get a
have-
Ford.
I need to do something about Ford.
You do. You
I
really do.
I
You
do.
really, really do. Let's see. Dean Brown, James Fife, Kurt Burns does nothing special. Says, hey, Tony.
You know one of the things we should do with the mule?
No.
Put a Ford motor in it.
We can.
And it would be the very first.
Oh, people would flip.
A Ford-powered Mopar.
Like, we
would
don't
be-
get enough hate mail as it is.
Oh, please. But it has to be something obnoxious. Like, I got to do like a Y block.
Okay,
You
good.
know what I mean? It's going to be something completely off the chain. A Y block with a teapot holly on it and nitrous.
So, good evening, everyone. What's up, Ari? Ari's here.
Hey, Ari, boy, that's got me thinking that would be a lot of fun.
We
Oh
gotta
my
do
God.
something for it.
Could you imagine the hate?
Oh, yeah. People would go
Everybody
crazy.
would hate. The Chrysler guys would hate. The
What's up,
Ford guys
Fubar?
would hate. The General Motors guys would hate just because they have to hate because they have to do with Mopars and Fords. But to have a Ford-powered Mopar, I don't believe that's ever been done in all of history.
Huh. It's an idea, Tony.
It is an idea, and that's why it's so good to have a mule because we can do stuff like that.
What's up, Lucas Crockett?
Lucas Crockett.
Jay says, love the channel. The video you did behind the bad camshaft exposed was awesome.
Thank you.
Let's see. Everybody's just saying hello to each other. Hey, everybody. Next American says, Merry Christmas, Tony.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas,
Well, it's
everyone.
too early yet.
A little early.
Yeah, just a little early.
Doug
Merry
Norton.
pre-Christmas.
Doug Norton says, if it's got to be Ford, at least make it a 460, please. And he's rolling his eyes with an emoji.
That's just people would expect that, but they wouldn't expect a Y block or I mean, like it's got to be.
Could be something cool. Can we do something cool for a change?
That's not cool. That's not
I'm
cool.
just, no, it's not
No, that
cool.
would definitely not be cool. But cool is sometimes uncool. Like the more uncool you make something, the cooler it is.
Yeah, not everybody gets that.
I
Stoic Steel says we will have to riot. Squirt McGirt says happy Sunday, UTG family. Happy Sunday.
That'd be something. Wouldn't it be funny if like future generations, like thousands of years,
They
from now,
only know
look
you
back,
for your Ford and a Mopar.
they'll it'll be like that butterfly effect.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Where some random YouTuber put a Ford motor in a motor
yeah, change
and,
the
it,
world.
and it caused this collapse. A whole new species evolved from that.
Anthony Perna says, Tony, piss everyone off and build a Ford 255.
Oh, geez. Are any of those left?
I don't know. Two Hugs Garage says, uncool, but uncool Ford. I might know something about that.
I like uncool.
Yeah, I know you do.
I always have.
Yeah.
Because if you really want to be cool,
Yeah.
find something that's utterly uncool and make it just a tiny bit cool, and it pegs the cool scale.
Oh no, why am I not charging?
I don't know what happened.
I don't know.
Dead wire?
Am I charging now? It won't go on. My battery won't go on.
Uh-oh.
Weird. Why won't my battery go on? Oh, something's wrong with my... No, it's my... Hang on, guys.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Technical difficulties.
It's
The power
my
plant
wire.
is down.
Okay, can you put that wire in there? The wire came apart.
Yeah.
Alex Miller sent you $2.
That's upside down.
Oh, Put it in the right way. The wire came apart. Is it?
How do you turn this thing back on?
Is it
I
on?
got it, yeah.
Okay.
Don't touch it.
I'm charging.
Okay, don't touch it.
Alex Miller sent you $2.
Thank you, sir.
Can you put 87 octane in a 1967 GOT engine?
God.
It says GOT. I think it's a typo. It says GOT engine.
Yes.
Can you put 87 octane in the 67? What would GOT be? GOAT?
Go possibly.
I know. I don't know.
I don't know.
GTO, because sometimes the letters get mixed up. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what it
Well,
means.
okay. So no, but that's an important thing.
Okay.
That's an important thing because, okay, like for instance, if I've got like a moderately high compression engine, let's say a 10
He says
to 1
GTO.
GT, okay.
Sorry, Alex.
So let's just say I've got a moderately high compression engine, and the only thing I'm going to be using this for the next months, whatever it happens to be, I'm not beating on it. I'm not taking it to the track. I'm not doing anything crazy with it. I'm just driving it A to B in traffic. Yeah, I'll use 87. There's no problem. You know, it's only an issue when you're on it. You know, when you push it. But if you're just cruising along, yeah, 87 will work just as good as anything else. The octane is important when you load the motor.
Okay. Well, see, that was a good question.
That
Thank
is a
you,
good
Alex.
question.
Let's see. Are you rolling a cigarette? I can't get that.
I'm
on
doing
film.
it down low so you can't see.
Okay, do down low.
Yeah, that's on the deal.
Under the table.
Under the table.
Okay.
We started so late. I feel like we should be wrapping up now.
I know.
Right?
Yeah, I know. We did start late. Let's see. Zero says by silver folks, you know the drill. Oh, okay. We know nothing.
This is not.
This is not financial
advice. Buy silver.
We don't know what we're talking about. You lose all your money.
Yeah.
Okay. J. Russell Finch. Is it possible to build an inbred engine with Ford? I can't film that. Okay.
Is that a trick question? Is it possible to build an inbred engine?
Yeah. Ford, Chevy, Mopar, etc. parts.
I'm not following.
Is it possible to build an inbred engine with Ford, Chevy, Mopar, etc. parts? I had to move the camera because you're rolling.
You mean mixing and matching parts?
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the 80s, I used to hang out with over at PG Machine, and when I was doing Cars Illustrated and Pontiac and Muscle Car and all these other magazines, and Scotty runs Pro Mod Cars now. I was actually just watching videos of him. He's down in the threes. He's down there, right? But Scotty, back in the day, back then, used to love mixing and matching components. So he'd use, Chevy rods and a whatever, a Buick build, whatever it would happen to be. I'm just throwing numbers, things out there. But yeah, he would mix and match components all the time. If you go into an odd sized bore and a piston from, a Pontiac is going to fit your Chevy or your Ford or whatever it happens to be. Yeah, that used to be done all the time. Now, many, many decades later, all of this stuff is available for the aftermarket, custom made. But back then, yeah, people used to mix and match internal engine parts all the time.
You should do that.
No.
No.
It's a lot like work, and if I wanted to work, I'd get a job. You know how that is.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You do need a Ford though, sometime.
We do need to do something for it.
We do.
I agree.
You can get a Mustang.
No, I'm not going to get another Mustang. We have the mule. I'll do something Ford with the mule.
Will you?
Hmm?
Interesting. Bastard 60 Bel Air Rat says, want to answer a question about a 72 Super Beetle? Oil light and brake light shining bright even though the key isn't in the ignition.
Well, I can't tell you exactly because I'm not familiar with the schematics on a Super Beetle, or any Beetle for that matter, but you've clearly got a short someplace.
Okay. What's up, Joe Bennett? What is the mule, Danny Wood said?
That's that white 67 Belvedere that's in the backyard. We're going to set it up as a mule so that we can try different things and test different things and so on and so forth, concepts and ideas, as opposed to just like talking about them. We can actually put them to use with a car that's specifically dedicated to only testing things.
So what would it take to put a Ford motor in there?
Nothing.
Nothing? Easy
Make,
peasy?
make a set of mounts.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's the whole idea behind the mule.
Yeah.
You know.
Interesting. Oh, we get so much hate. Let's do it.
You gotta find just the right engine. You gotta think of just the right engine to do.
Danny Boy says a Ford engine and a Mopar mule? Exclamation points, question marks.
It would be.
Would it bother you, Danny Boy? Say yes, and then I'll make us do it more.
So it would be fun, right?
Yeah.
To take. See, there's a great comparison. Okay, it would be fun to take a stock. Let's just say a stock 440 and a stock 460 Ford, and put them in the same car with the same everything. And the transmission would be an issue. Converter would be an issue. But I guess a C6 versus a torque flight. But it would be fun to take two completely stock engines from different manufacturers, or even throw in. You could even throw in like a 455 Olds or a Pontiac or a Buick or any of those things, and just test the engines on their own merits. Exactly stock in the same car. That's the whole point of having a mule. That could be a lot of fun.
You think so? I think it would be interesting.
It'd be very
I
interesting.
think it's something people would watch.
Yeah, I would watch it.
It's different, you know.
would
Watch,
watch
everybody's going to do it now. You better do it fast before somebody else does it, and then they'll be like, oh, Tony's copying us.
No, that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And settle a lot of arguments.
You heard it here first, everybody. All right, so Christian72 says, hi, Tony. What would you do to put some pep in my stock Pontiac 350 with a 2-barrel? Has headers and exhaust, but that's about it. It's a 72 Firebird, a Spirit.
The single best low dollar or no dollar thing you can do really to any stock engine is to curve the distributor. Is to limit the curve and time it from maximum advance, and back up, So in other words, like you want to set the timing for total 33, 34, 35, 36 degrees in that range, whatever it'll take without detonating, and then limit the advance curve. So you've only got like 15 degrees, maybe 20 degrees total advance. So you can start it and drive it normally and everything at low speeds. That's curving the distributor. Reworking the distributor is the single biggest seat of the pants, no dollar or low dollar thing you can do to any factory production car.
318 will run says 289.
I love the small Windsors. I've always loved the small Windsors.
Peter Kovac says motor du jour.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
That could be fun. And it's the kind of thing where we can reach out to other people who have, because I don't have to go out and buy all these. I'm sure we can find somebody who's got a stock 455 Buick and somebody who's got a stock, 428 Ford, and we could just bolt it into the car and set it and see what it does.
Anthony Perna sent you $5.
Thank you, Anthony.
Tony, I have a good running 302 I want to put in my TR7. I'll pay for parts and come down there to do work. Let's do a build together.
Oh man, I mean, I appreciate it's unless you actually, the only way I would do something like that, but the only way I would consider doing it is if you actually lived within driving distance of the shop. Because now I've had these long distance builds, like with my friend Andy with the GTX, where there were great periods of time in between, progress on the car, because he lives hundreds of miles away. So he had to schedule time to come down and work on the car. So the thing is, even if you're visiting, let's just say, you're going to put a week aside to come down and do this. You run into that problem where, okay, this doesn't fit. Oh, that's broken. Oh, we have to rethink this.
Look at what happened with Josh. He was just going to do one thing.
Yeah. But Josh is the perfect example. And Josh lives only about 25 miles from the shop, right? Yeah, that was the perfect example.
Yeah.
We were just going to freshen up the transmission. Right. And then next thing you know, it's like, well, okay, the steering box is leaking and it's sloppy and this is bad and that's bad and we want to do this.
That's how it goes. That's normal.
Right, that's normal. It's just the normal, and people, somebody asked about what's going on with the satellite in the background. It's done. I'm just waiting for Josh. He was supposed to be here today. He'll probably come tomorrow or the next day. And as far as I know, all the fluids are in, the training works good, everything's okay. It was pouring rain when we got it finished, and it's just been parked since. So you just got to adjust the torsion bar. The passenger side torsion bar's got to get adjusted up, and that's it. But yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about. It's like you start off doing one thing, and then it's just like just a whole,
A plethora.
a
Of
plethora
things.
of other things pop up.
Charlie says, "Hey Tony, like your channel."
Thank you.
Let's see. Jim Kellogg says, "I have a '79 Corvette 350 with a 4-barrel. Out of edible box, I want to do an emissions. My CEOs. What? How can I fix by adjusting the carburetor?"
I have no idea what that is.
Okay, I think it's typos or autocorrect.
All right, try it again.
Try again.
Try it again.
Jim. Sorry. Let's see. William Kavanaugh says, "Greetings from Staten Island.
What's
When
up,
I
man?
heard you talking about Yakarinos and RCL junkyards, you brought back a lot of great memories." Very cool.
I worked for Jimmy and Mino for like 2 weeks. So if you remember Yacarino's and RCL across the street, there was a Mino Brothers, like next door to Yacarino's. And I worked for Jimmy and Mino for like 2 weeks when I was like 16. That was a rough deal, man. That was a rough deal.
Let's see. Levi Richards. "Mr. Tony, I've got a bone stock 1974's 350 small block Chevy and my 1989 Firebird with a new Remand Quadrajet. Should I put my non-world class T5 behind it or get a T56 later, swapping from a 700 R4?
I would say that the T5 and the 700R4 are going to be very compatible. I mean, why do you need the T56? I would think the T5 would be fine.
Zero says, "I have an autocorrect question. What is that?" It never works.
I need autocorrect when I'm making videos.
Autocorrect, yeah. Where's the UTG bus? This is not autocorrect advice. It's not. It definitely isn't. My autocorrect always puts in words that don't exist. Let's see. What happens to the paint weight discussion?
I completely forgot about it.
Me too. Bill McKiska saying $20.
Thank you, Bill.
318 for a truck engine that is going to see lots of load, towing, and near overheating abuse.
Near overheating abuse.
Yes. Are there any internal modifications I can do to the block or heads to get to perform better while still being reliable as dirt?
If you're operating that engine in the 2,000, 3,000 RPM range, like truck use, no. I mean, honestly, I can't think of anything you could do. Like the porting, so minor porting won't really show itself at that speed unless you've got major defects. So like if you've got the engine apart, okay, and you find major defects in the ports, meaning like, extra metal here, lumps there, and extra rough surfaces or anything like that, cleaning those up, breaking all of the sharp edges in the bowls, like around the valve guides and stuff like that, will definitely help, because it doesn't give fuel a chance to fall out of atomization anywhere in that circuit. So that sort of stuff helps, but you're not going to you're not going to see any power increase, because you're not really looking for a power increase. You're just looking for efficiency. As far as the block goes, man, I can't think of anything. The small block Mopar, it's like the small block Mopar is one of those choices for the demo delivery guys, because they'll run longer than everything else without a radiator. So there's not much you could do other than just clean up defects, obvious defects that you find.
Okay. Crazy77 says hello from Nebraska.
Hello from Nebraska.
Ari says, under Tony's bus you'll find Entenmann's and monetization.
And what's it up?
And what's it out?
Yes.
Let's see.
Yes, everybody who gets thrown under the bus gets the bonus monetization. I make sure that they get paid from YouTube before they go under the bus.
Right. Isn't that nice of you?
It's so nice of us.
Okay, Zero says, Kathy, a couple weeks back Tony said use a stick. Is this still advice?
Yes, always use a stick.
Okay. Let me see. Okay.
If a stick is not available, an aluminum pole is an acceptable substitute.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, what became of the excessively lightened charger you spoke of in the brake failure video? Did you junk it or fix the brakes? If so, how?
That got scrapped 40 years ago. Like literally 40 years ago.
Is that the one that the kid pulled down Richmond Terrace on a dolly?
That was another one. That was a 69 RT
Okay.
that I had.
You had him take to the junkyard.
Yeah, it would be junk.
Yeah.
But remember, this is 1982, 1983. It was
Yeah.
like these cars were a dime a dozen. They were everywhere. Nobody wanted them. They had no value. So it was like when something was a little too far gone or it didn't fit the
Everybody
purpose.
yelled, "Get that piece of shit out of here!"
Yeah. It's hard for people today to imagine. Like, do you remember the first shop over on Old Amboy Road?
Yeah,
How
of
many
course.
charges we had there?
Yeah, a lot. All of them.
I had
that 70 Charger. That was my first car.
The blue
one.
one. Yeah. I cannot tell you how many 68, 69, 70 Chargers on the lot, on the parking lot. This was a regular business. I was trying to get cars in and out, regular customers' cars in and out. But I mean, B-Body Mopars were everywhere. There were a dime a dozen, and you could buy them for $75.
And you were
$100.
sick. You were a sick person.
I was a sick person.
Still
So
are.
it got to the point that you're intercepting these things that before they go to the junkyard, they're really considered junk by most people. Nobody really wants them. The 68, 69, 70 Chargers were not desirable cars until the Dukes of Hazzard. So,
But even long after.
and even long after
Yeah,
that, they still weren't
they
really,
weren't.
right? They didn't become iconic until about 20 years ago. So, I mean, it was normal to junk these cars. It was like, because they were on their way to the junkyard when you bought them.
Squirt McGirt sent you $1.49
Thank
and
you.
a hamburger emoji. You can go get
I
yourself a
can't
burger.
get, you can't even get a small fries for $1.40.
Uncle Tony's Claw says hello from Oklahoma.
Is that his name?
Uncle Tony's Claw. Hilarious. All right, I'm way behind now. Do we get cannoli cookies out here? Cannoli cookies? We can get cannolis at Publix.
Yeah,
They have
Publix
good
has got
cannolis.
Publix bakery is as good as any Italian bakery in New York. There's no question about it.
Squirt McGirt sent you another $10.
Okay, so I can get a couple of burgers for that.
Yeah, you can get me a burger too.
I get you a burger too.
He says, speaking of Fords, well, it may be a he, it could be a she, I don't know.
Oh, could be.
Squirt McGirt says, speaking of Fords, I've always loved the bullnose trucks. I'm looking at an 83 F-150 inline 6 auto. Used to run but die at idle. Now cranks but won't fire. Try the mechanic special or run away screaming.
Read that one more time, the last part of it.
Okay, let's see. I'm looking at an 83 F-150 inline 6 auto.
Okay.
It used to run, but dies at idle now. Cranks, but won't fire.
Cranks won't fire.
He says, try the mechanic special or run away screaming.
Oh, I would try it. If you can get it cheap, yeah, I would definitely try it. Do the basics. Does it have compression? Does it have spark? Is it getting fuel? Because those are the only three things you need to make an engine run. But that's such an easy engine to build, and it's such an easy truck to pull the motor out of. I mean, yeah, I would definitely go for it.
Okay. Let's see.
Providing the price is right, of course.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to overpay for anything. Grace Ventures says, sorry, I have what sounds like a lifter tap, but the engine's got to be hot to hear it. I really hope it's an exhaust leak, but don't those typically go away when the engine warms, not get worse? Big block Chevy 454.
Usually an exhaust leak will it starts out loud, and as everything expands, it'll get quieter and quieter. They don't always go away. The easiest way to tell is just as you're rolling with the thing in gear, kill the engine. You know, just so that everything is spinning. You can't do it at a low speed, otherwise the converter isn't making a solid enough coupling. But if you get it up to, let's say, 40, 50 miles an hour and just click the ignition off. If it goes away while the engine is still rotating, I know that's what it was.
2 Hex says impossible 318 update.
Tomorrow. Andy actually put out a video today.
Oh, I'm so late. Sorry, I'm talking to myself.
They flowed the carburetor. He's also cut up one of the cylinder heads. He's finding some pretty interesting things on the cylinder heads. So tomorrow I'm going to update what he's found, and we'll put links to his videos, of course, and I'm going to show you some stuff that I'm working on one of our cars.
Okay. Okay, so Pedro Biondi says, to you, where is the line for engine swaps? Some people don't tolerate anything that is not another V8. Others don't see problem in 2JC or K20 swaps.
Yeah, I was just going to say that 2JZ is like premium swap material. What do you mean by where's the line? I'm a bit of a purist, so I like, for me, if it's a Toyota, it should have a Toyota engine. You know, what Toyota engine am I putting there? If it's a Mopar, it should have a Mopar engine. You know, and this is counter what we were talking about before with the mule. But I like to keep my engine swaps within the family of the engine swap. If you go back to the early days of like hot rodding, if you go back to like the 1950s, early 1960s, those guys were swap crazy. And actually, if you're into like oddball combinations, right? And the difficulties of working with each of these engines, go find some early issues of Hot Rod, Carcraft, Popular Hot Rodding, any of those magazines from the very early 60s, before the muscle car era. And you'll see they were swapping anything into everything. And the thing among the hot rodders back then was who's going to do the most outlandish swap. So you found all sorts of things. You know, people would put a Hudson straight six in a Studebaker pickup truck or whatever it would happen to be, just for the sake of doing it. It was a very interesting and creative period.
Okay. Anthony Prentice says, Uncle Tony, I have a Ford 300 I rebuilt a while ago. It ran lean, and now I have a leaky exhaust valve on number 1. If the valve isn't cracked, can I just lap it? If it is, can I just lap the new valve in?
Yeah, you'll know right away. As soon as you pop the valve out, you'll see if the seat is damaged. So what you do is pop the valve out, throw the new valve in, lap it just for a couple of seconds, and if you see a clear line, you know the seat is good. If you see a shadow in the seat, then you know that the seat itself is defective, which may have been what caused the valve to burn. A lot of times valves will burn because the seat is just a little defective, just a tiny bit. All it has to be out is just a tiny bit. And because it's always seeing fire pass through it, that section of the valve gets hotter than the rest of it, and it'll burn the valve right there.
Okay, Mike Brunello says, Tony, can you make a 2-barrel carb flow more on Mission Impossible?
Yes, that's the whole point of Mission Impossible, and Andy's working on it right now. They flowed the Carter BBD. That's one of them that's going to be used on that engine. So yes, and you're going to follow all the details on the carburetor on Andy's channel.
Okay. They're talking to each other. I'm very far behind too. Let's see. Honda 350 Racer says Ford 9-inch put in every Chevy, so what's the difference in a motor swap?
I mean, rear ends were a little bit different. And the 9-inch, the 9-inch is a bad swap. And I'm not talking anything bad about the 9-inch. We ran a 9-inch in top fuel right up until other people had gone to the Christmas, the 10-inch and all of that. But we ran a 9-inch in top fuel. My last year was 1998, was it? 1998, 1999, I don't even remember. But we were still using a Ford 9-inch with a 320 gear. So I have tons of 9-inch experience. So I'm not speaking poorly of the 9-inch, but the 9-inch is a very poor swap for most street cars in the 300 to 500, 600 horsepower range because it takes so much power to turn the thing.
Okay. Grace Ventures is saying it would be kind of hard to check for the tap that way. I checked. I can only really hear it at idle. When I'm at speed, I can't hear the tap.
You only hear it at idle, but you don't hear it at speed. Okay, so with that, you could either try grounding each cylinder. Okay, I use a test light, right? You take a test light, so you see where the wire is going to the cap. Put the test light in alongside the wire. Okay, what I'm telling you is going to put a pinhole in the wire, but in the insulator around the distributor cap, but it seals right up. It won't really do any damage. Take a sharp test light and poke it into each wire where it goes into the cap to ground each cylinder. And if the noise goes away, then you know it's an exhaust leak. If the noise stays, then you know it's a valve train noise.
Okay, Chief asks his question. What pickup truck is best quality vehicle in the long run? Looking into buying a used truck when prices go down, just as a utility or work truck to move things or carry heavier loads.
You know, you can't argue with the popularity of the Fords, like the F-150s and all of that. You can't knock the Chryslers. You have to go way back to find what I would consider to be a reliable Dodge truck. They're so goofy with their electrical systems, body control modules, and they're very failure prone. And the interior is full apart and stuff. It's hard to go wrong with an F-150. Go with the numbers. Go with the numbers. The most when it comes to things like trucks, the most popular are generally long term the best.
Okay. Toyota. Stevie B says a Toyota pickup truck.
Oh, you can pick up a Helix.
Hmm. Let's see. Heather and Tim Sharp says I have a 1986 F-250 and I love it. It's carbureted. They're popular, right?
They're extremely popular because they work. They work.
G-Vest says thank you, Tony. Let's see. In high school, we were able to pick up a Chevette and move it by hand. Okay. Import still sucks. Says I always tell people if they must have American, then buy a Ford. If they don't care, then buy a Toyota.
That sounds fair.
I think that's fair, right?
Yeah.
What are those pictures on the wall? They're
Jungle's 69 Nova
yeah.
and Wild Willie Bush.
Yeah. Let's see. So Grace Ventures says, I'm sorry, I'm having a problem reading here. A little blurry. I get so cut fire to each cylinder. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Can't have an exhaust leak with no exhaust. Makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to tell. That's the easiest way to tell.
I think my glasses are dirty.
Yeah.
I think I got a smudge.
And you're gonna get people like, it's top people, stick holes in their wires. I mean,
Tomorrow.
doing it since
The video will come out tomorrow about it.
What?
About the fact that you're telling people to put holes in their wires. Tomorrow there'll be a video out.
The Troll Patrol will be all over that. I wish they would pop on here.
I think they're all blocked at this point.
I hope not.
I mean, they had the opportunity to a long time ago and they never did, but they just went too far and most of them are blocked.
Yeah, Mr. Swinger and who's the other guy?
He's not blocked.
He's not blocked?
No, he's not blocked.
Mr. Will, is he blocked?
Oh yeah, he's blocked.
Unblock him.
Oh no, he's blocked. I'm not reading anything from him.
We got Spider-Man.
Blocked.
Don't block. You gotta unblock. They're the big trolls, like the key trolls, not the annoyances, but like the major trolls. Unblock them.
Well, some aren't blocked, but some are blocked.
Darth Henny.
Oh, blocked a long time ago. Blocked.
Well, he had to get blocked because he was spamming.
Yeah.
Like literally
Spamming.
every single comment.
Yeah.
People are disturbed.
Yeah. Crazy. That's why they're blocked, Tony. Don't drink my water. Oh.
I just took a sip.
I know, but now I can't drink it. Well, I can drink it, but you can't drink it again. Let's see. What brand of line lock do you recommend?
I've never used a line lock.
No, Wendy, you're not blocked.
I've never used a line lock. I couldn't tell you.
Only the trolls are blocked.
But they shouldn't be.
Kiwi says Tony's ruined my name. What? Tony.
How did I ruin your name?
Did you ruin Kiwi's name?
Kiwi's Cuisine Kitchen King.
Kiwi's Classics and Customs, right?
That's it. Kiwi's right. Okay.
What's up, Kiwi?
King Kiwi's. What was
King Kiwi's House of something. I don't know.
King Kiwi's Colossal Kingdom of Kindness.
No, we won't block you, Joe Brennan. Kiwi says exactly. Funny. Let's see. Tony always butchers Kiwi's name, but everyone remembers it, right? It's like reverse
everybody
psychology.
remembers it.
Yeah. What did he say? He doesn't even know his name. It's so stupid. Of course Tony knows his name.
He's got to go over there and steal content from people.
And he doesn't even know his name. Those are the trolls. That's what they say. It's funny.
For those who don't know, I have this one troll. We call this guy Spider-Man. He's got like spiders and shit tattooed all over him. He makes 1, 2, sometimes 3 videos a day, every day
About Tony.
Right. And he has like this group of trolls that like they all gather.
They're all listening right now.
Yes, of course they're all
This
listening.
is where they
right
get their
now.
material from.
So they all gather on his channel several times a day to comment on
Everything that we do.
whatever we do, whatever we say here goes.
They go there and twist it. Turn it into something completely
twist it in
ridiculous.
ways that are just like unimaginable. But
They do it.
God bless them.
Uncle Trolls, yeah. Yeah, so I guess Kiwi's back. He says back to work.
All right, I'll stop by there. I'll come by tomorrow. I'll steal some content from you
Yeah,
because I have
steal
none of
more
my own.
content from Kiwi.
I ran out of content on September 16th, 2000. So it's been like
Excuse me.
it's been almost 2. It's been over 2 years with no content.
Well, this is
no
what the
content.
trolls say. So for anybody
Yes.
that's new here, we always make fun of what the trolls say about us and confirm it for them. So that's what we do.
Yeah, I ran out of content on September 16th, 2000. I've been faking it ever since.
Yeah, we look at Wikipedia every day,
Right.
so you can make a video.
Yes. It's not easy.
I hold up the cue cards while I'm filming it.
Right. And of course I use Kiwi,
Right.
Right.
In his content.
Right, because he actually works on
He
it.
works on
Right.
things, right? You don't work on anything.
I don't work on it.
So sorry for everyone that's new and doesn't understand what's going on.
I love it. I tell you what, I guarantee there isn't another YouTuber that has as dedicated,
Oh no, they have them.
not
They
dedicated.
don't talk
like my
about
trolls.
them.
My trolls are so dedicated. I swear to God, nobody on YouTube has a channel, literally a channel.
Joe Brennan says this channel needs a little more content.
I put out.
Okay, we're back.
Okay,
Buffering. Yeah, we buffered for a second.
sorry guys. So I'll put out a video every day, every other day, whatever it is. And the troll channel posts 2 or 3 videos every day about me. How this happens, I don't know. But this guy literally is a guy that sits in his basement.
Just watches everything you
I
do
swear to
and
God.
comments on
He
it.
sits in his basement. He's got like spiders tattooed all over his hands and stuff like that.
He's listening now.
He sits in his basement and he makes 2 or 3 videos literally every single day. Even if I don't post a video, he'll still put out 2 or 3 videos about me. I'm the only thing he makes videos about. The guy literally has dedicated his life to making
It's
videos about
actually
me.
very sad.
It's tragic.
Because how could you sit all day and just watch everything somebody else does and talk
It's
about
tragic.
it?
Well, because he doesn't have anything going on in his life.
That's pretty obvious. Let's see. Uncle Tony has the best Norwegian trolls, John says.
Do I have a Norwegian troll too?
Probably.
I hope so. They should all. They need to all get together.
Ari says, I'm kind of jealous. I can't afford the tattoos I want, so I look like grandpa with faded spot tattoos. uh, let's see.
Oh, and he has a group of. He doesn't watch our videos, but he has a group of people who watch our videos and then report to him.
Oh, because that's
what's in
how
our
to get the
videos.
most accurate information, obviously.
Right.
That's the kind of reporting that you really want to do.
So my friend Barbara has texted me about Uncle Sanford's latest video. What the fuck?
That's how you always get the most. Sorry, got to turn. He can't roll cigarettes
Yeah.
on video. That's how you always get the most correct information. So sad.
It's tragic. It's tragic.
All right, I think some people are in lockup and they comment nutty things.
He's not in lockup. He broadcasts from his basement
In the dark.
in the dark.
This is even more tragic. You know what it is? We're too happy for them. They don't like that.
Probably.
They can't handle happy people. Let's see. He says, I want to make a Don't Talk Shit on Tony t-shirt.
But that's the one guy that makes the videos about me.
Yeah, there's others.
Well, yeah, we got a couple of people who've done that.
Yeah.
But then he has this dedicated pack of trolls that are there every day. And they literally make stuff up as they go along.
And they twist everything. It's hilarious.
It's surreal. It's surreal.
I'm like, how did you come up with that? You have a really good imagination. You should use it for good and not evil. Okay, let's see. Bubba McCoy says, if you buy a 96 Roadmaster, you will own an OptiSpark. 93 is better, easier repairs, and full instrumentation.
Okay.
I don't know who he's talking to.
I
Maybe
don't know,
us,
but
maybe somebody else.
OptiSpark.
I just grabbed it in the middle of
Bad-
talking about trolls.
Bad distributor. Oh my God. I remember when those things first came out, doing tune-ups on those cars.
Joe K says, you need to turn the camera away when Tony rolls up a cigarette, but you don't have to turn the camera away when he rolls up his windows.
Roll the windows!
Nobody knows what that's from.
No.
It's so, yeah. Oh, Kiwi says, do you want to guest next Sunday?
Of course.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. That'd be good. Oh, Mr. Swinger 1 is here. He says, when the economy crashes, Harleys will be cheap.
Hey, Mr. Swinger. Harleys are pretty cheap, actually.
Let's see. Lucas Crockett says, New Zealand.
So Mr. Swinger is one of our trolls.
Yes. He may deny it. Let's see.
Don't deny it. Be proud of it.
Mm-hmm. I saw the Project Farm video. This is Doug's maintenance shop. He used oil from the 1950s. I'm saying oil from the... Oh, they must be talking to somebody else.
Okay.
You're talking to... I can't tell sometimes.
Oils from the 1950s had paraffins in them that turned to gel. And I remember when I was a kid in the 70s, and you'd go and you'd buy a motor out of a junkyard. And it was, back then in the 70s, it was common to pick up an engine from like the very early 60s or even the late 50s. And when you would take these things apart, you'd pop the oil cans off of them. There was like a gel. No modern mechanic can, or anybody who's like over 40 or so, could identify with this level of those old oils. The filth, the incredible filth. Like if you tore down an engine from the 60s or the early 60s, one of these motors that had the old oils and pre-PCV, in this tarry, it's indescribable. I can't even imagine why anybody would want to be a mechanic back then based on like what we had to deal with.
I think I remember when I was a kid, everything was much filthier under the hood of cars than it is now.
It was.
Everything was black.
Yeah, it was.
Thick black gunk.
There's a lot of stuff from the good old days that really wasn't so good.
Right. Sludge, yeah. Jed says sludge.
Sludge.
I remember that because I would look under the hoods.
Yeah, it was not uncommon, especially on engines like Oldsmobiles, Fords. It was not uncommon to take a valve cover off, and when you take the valve cover off, there's like a Jello mold of the valve cover.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Import still sucks. Says goodnight. I'm beat. Goodnight.
Good night, brother.
Jed says thanks, Mrs. UTG. That's very nice. You're welcome. Thank you for commenting. Let's see. Everyone's talking to each other tonight. That's
Well,
good.
it's very social.
Yeah, that's good. Tyler McIntyre says, Tony, why would a motor run cool? Head gasket?
What, cool?
Yeah.
No, a head gasket will generally cause it to overheat. The telltale with a head gasket is it'll run normal temperature, and then just out of the blue, the temperature will just skyrocket like that. Because what happens is, as the engine is running, it's pumping air, it's pumping exhaust or combustion gases into the cooling system, and eventually it creates a pocket, like a bubble. When that bubble reaches the water pump, the water stops circulating and the temperature goes nuts. And if you shut it off and then you restart it, the temperature goes right back down again. That's kind of a telltale of a bad head gasket.
MSD 6AL ignition system.
I have
I
never
have
used
one
one.
on my Chrysler.
I have never used one. MSDs, and I'm not talking bad things about MSDs, but MSDs are generally a crutch. The reason why MSDs are popular, especially like in flipper cars and stuff like that, is because it's very difficult to get a big cammed engine to run smooth and clean at lower RPM. So what happens is the MSD, MSD stands for multiple spark discharge. So up to about 3,500 RPM, it'll blast the spark. It'll blast the spark like in a pulse. Instead of just one spark, you'll get multiple sparks. And what that does is, if you've got a rich, sloppy mixture at idle and low speeds, it'll keep the engine running. It'll keep it from fouling the plugs and dropping the plugs. That's the primary reason why MSDs are used. Now, they also have built-in rev limiters, and there's all sorts of electronics that get attached to an MSD. But the primary purpose of the MSD, literally multiple spark discharge, is that at lower RPM, it keeps the plugs from fouling. Over like 3,500 RPM, I think it is, it becomes a single fire ignition, just like anything else. So the MSD is a crutch. If you need an MSG, I had
Chinese food.
Yeah. If you need an MSD to make your car run smoothly, you have a carburetor issue.
Okay. Jim Kellogg sent you $20.
Thank you.
But I don't see your question, Jim. So, okay, here it is. Okay, it's below it. It says 79 Corvette with a 3.5 4-barrel Edelbrock carburetor. Should I do it in the missions? Dennis, my COs were high. Can I do an adjustment on the carb to fix it? He must be doing talk to text. Okay.
Oh, you're talking about emissions.
Emissions, yeah. He must be doing talk to text. Because it comes out funny sometimes.
Okay. I got to be honest with you, brother, man. I know very little about emissions. I know that back when I was in New York and I had my regular customers, and back in New York, I had to have an annual emissions inspection. I had a guy who I paid, $20 to stick the sniffer in somebody else's tailpipe to get the car to inspection. That's what I know about inspections. That's what I know about emissions. Life is good. So I wish I could answer your question, but I really can't.
Chivas says, question. I noticed that here in Texas, battery connectors get corrosive quicker than in other areas of the country. Do you think it is because of the humidity?
Yes, absolutely. If you notice, whenever you have a problem, you'll go out to start your car and you hit the key and it goes, tick, and it's dead. It's always during a rainy day, a very humid day, or the moisture in the air, absolutely. What it does is, it's normal for a little acid to acid vapors to seep out around the posts. And what happens is the moisture in the air joins that acid and it migrates up around the post. And that's how you get that corrosion on the battery cables. And that's why painting them with that marmalade sort of stuff that stops the moisture. And also they make those little wick things. Those like they're red, and they'll go around the post. This way, any of the vapors wick into that instead of going up into the post, and that's what creates. So yes, humidity is definitely a factor. Humidity is probably the only factor that contributes to those bad battery connections.
Okay, they said the signal was getting bad. Excuse me. But I just put on a different internet signal, so maybe it'll get better now. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Let me know if the signal is better. Doug's Maintenance Shops is Uncle Kathy. I was posting using the channel. Wait, I'm sorry, I can't see. Hang on. I was positing using a canned oil from, say, the early mid 1980s, like an SAE 30 weight to use as an engine brake-in oil. These cans are still out there if you look, with oil sealed inside.
Don't use that as a brake-in oil. Even back then, a brake-in oil was still a brake-in oil. Or you can use that and then use a supplement. And I'm just going to use STP off the top of my head. Use a supplement with that early oil, and yeah, you've got the best possible combination.
Okay, Wheelie King says it's way better.
Okay.
Okay.
So if Wheelie King likes it, I like it.
Okay, it's better by a lot. Yeah, it's cleared up. Okay, good. Sorry, everyone. Excellent quality now. The dogs are inside.
Yeah.
Any New Year's resolutions?
To try to come up with content and not steal it from Kiwi.
Wikipedia, right?
Yeah, because I feel bad now that I steal Kiwi's content. And who else do I steal content from? Well, yeah, that's my New Year's resolution, is to come up with content on my own, which I don't really think I can, to tell you the truth.
No, you have to take it from other YouTubers.
I have to take it from other YouTubers.
Mm-hmm. Jackson Kersey sent you $4.99.
Thank you.
70 Cutlass, put an aluminum intake and Edelbrock 600. Car has no happy timing. Dwell is good. Shoots gas out the tail and can't lean out with jets.
Well, jets won't lean. Jets have nothing to do with idle mixture. You're not on the main circuit. Jets are only applicable to the main circuit of the carburetor. You've got an issue in the low speed. You've got. Well, I mean, I can't tell you exactly because I'm not a psychic, but I can tell you for certain you can change jets from now to the end of time, and it's not going to fix anything to do with idle.
What are we doing for Christmas? What are we doing? What are you doing, Joe Brennan, for Christmas?
What are we doing? We're doing, well,
we're having it here.
Yeah, we're having it here.
Yeah. We're cooking food.
We're cooking the food.
Yeah. What are you guys doing for Christmas? Let's see. My weekly DeSoto question. Is he around tonight? Is he in or out? I had to throw him out before because he was going
I
on the
haven't
table.
heard him.
He must be in the living room. Yeah, he must be in the living room. Let's see. Joe Biden says, I'm going to go to my grandma's house and eat pie. That sounds awesome. Pie is good.
I would go to my grandma's house, but she's dead.
Tony.
She's like 95. It's cool.
Yeah, she's up there. Oh, wait. I was thinking you were broadcasting from the shop. I'm drunk. What?
Oh.
Any boys? No, we're home. Joey Fogate says, damn. Okay. Drink Yoo-Hoo? Yoo-Hoo used to be good.
I used to love Yoo-Hoo.
I used to love it too.
I used to drink the shit out of Yoo-Hoo.
I don't think it's the same.
It's not. It's
Nothing
not.
is the same. All the food is different.
Right. Yeah, no. I was a Yoo-Hoo addict for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but now they changed it. There's something about it. It's just not the same.
Yep. Let's see. Lots of cars for content in your fleet.
Yes.
Yes.
But I can't. See, I don't work on my own cars. I have other people.
Would you stop?
I have other people
Tony
who
works on
work
his
on
own
the cars. Because all I do is
The new people. New
All I
people.
do is yak. So I have a secret crew that comes in at night
Right.
and works on my cars. And then what I do is, listen to this one, right?
Oh my
What I
goodness.
do is, when I come in the morning, I make them all shake hands with me because they're all dirty. You know
Right,
what I mean?
so it makes
So
your
I make,
hands
I make them
dirty.
shake hands with me, so I get all dirt and shit on my hands, and then you suckers think I actually worked on the car.
Oh goodness. All right, Tony's trolling with trolls.
Please.
New Crofta sends you $2. Tips for building an engine for low RPM torque.
Tips for building an engine for low RPM torque. A long runner, small diameter intake manifold, an RV cam. A carburetor with very small primaries. A long tube header helps. Small diameter long tube header. The smaller diameter, the better for torque, for low end torque. And a curved distributor. A curved distributor is like the key to like all happiness. But that's all I got to say about that.
Okay. What's up, BFOG?
It's happening.
Let's see. Anthony K, do you have a brand you like for Jackson stands?
Oh God, I have there's probably 30 jack stands between here, the shed, the shop, and stuff hanging around. I couldn't even tell you. I don't think any two jack stands are the same. Like they're all different colors, all different shapes, all different sizes, and it's kind of frustrating because like I'm like one of them uniform freaks. Like I like all the bolts to be the same. So I like all the jack stands to be the same, but I can never find two jack stands that are the same anything.
You're funny. Tyler McIntyre says, thank you for your answer to my question, Tony. It made me think about it differently, and that is good. Happy holidays to you and your family.
You're welcome, and thank you. And that's what we try to do on this channel. Try to get people to think. That's it. That's the key to this channel. It's the key to all of the content we do. It's to get people to think and maybe see things from a different perspective. Because the whole car thing, if you're really a car guy, if you're not an ego guy, see, there's some people who they're ego guys. My thing has to be flashier, more expensive, faster, whatever it happens to be. They're ego guys. They don't think. They just spend money. There's nobody home. But there's nobody home. They're empty. They're meat bags.
All right.
That have cars. Okay. I'm telling you like it is. They're fucking meat bags that have
All right,
cars.
kids are watching.
Sorry, kids. But a real car guy, right, or a real gearhead is a thinker, right? They think about stuff, and that's where the fun is. That's where the challenge is.
Yeah.
It's the challenge, right? And that's like, so how do you make a 318 make 300 horsepower using all those stock parts? Or how do you get a 76 or how do you get this thing that isn't supposed to work? That's the magic. That's the fun. And that's what we try to feature on this channel. And the whole purpose is to get people to think, to think, which is kind of the exact opposite of like the more, when I say more popular channels, I mean channels that get much bigger views, much better sub numbers. They're
more
not,
entertainment.
They're more into entertainment. They're more into people who just want to sit back and just watch.
They don't want to think. They don't want to think. They want to shut off.
Think. Exactly. They just want to shut
relax.
Off.
Yeah.
Our content is geared towards people who want to be able to figure out the answers or master their thing on their own, and that's the whole purpose of that's our mission. That's if I had to say what's our mission with this channel, it's to get people to think, or to help people see things through a different lens. Or does that make any sense?
It makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Heather and Tim Sharp says, UTG, I know you're not a Ford guy, but is there a Ford you would admit to liking or a favorite engine?
Yeah, Windsors and Fox bodies. I love Windsors. I mean, literally love Windsors. Just because I don't own one doesn't mean that I don't love them. And yeah, I have Fox bodies have a very special place in my history. That picture right up there.
Okay, I just saw that picture
Yeah.
slipped out of the frame. I gotta fix it. Okay, so this is Tony's box body, and that's Tony in there. It's hard to see from the
That
angle.
was the cover of Cars Illustrated magazine. That's a picture from the cover of Cars Illustrated
I
magazine.
can get closer. Yeah, it's a little faded actually. It's a little old.
Yeah. Well, that's the original picture.
Yeah, that's the original
That's not
photo.
a copy of the picture. That was the actual photo that was used by the art department to make the cover of that issue of Cars Illustrated.
What's up, Matt Guadagno? You saying hi?
What's going on, mechanic? Matt's one of my Goombas from New York. We bounced around a lot.
Let's see. Meatbags. Sweet.
Yeah, the meatbag.
Love Tony's passion. Let's see. The meatbags. Be nice. Be nice. They're just different. They're different. They enjoy the hobby at a different level. There's different levels.
Yeah, okay.
So don't call them meatbags.
All right, wait, all right. Let me rephrase that because it's not fair to people who are just casual enthusiasts.
Right.
And I appreciate that. Like I don't think that everybody who's into cars should be diving in and ripping into stuff and changing cams and shit like that.
That's not for everyone.
That's not for everyone. And I wouldn't expect it to be for everyone.
Right.
And I have respect for casual enthusiasts. I don't go to like a thing like Cars and Coffee and say, meatbags, the whole bunch of them, freaking meatbags. No, it's not like that at all. It's not like that at
You
all.
love dogs, but you don't want to operate on them.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So it's not like that. When I refer to the meatbags, I mean the people who present themselves as very active enthusiasts. Do you know what I'm saying? That are only there. They're only trying to. They're trying to fill a hole inside of them. Does that make any sense?
Everybody's got that hole, Tony.
I know. I have no holes. I'm good.
David Fernandez says Tony is trolling. He is. You trolling, Tony? Oh my goodness. All right. Just different levels of the hobby.
Different levels of the hobby, and some of them are meatbags.
This is why we're different. Okay, so David Fernandez says, Tony, would you put a Windsor in a Cherokee?
No.
No. You love your Cherokee motor?
Yes.
You do?
Yes. It would be very difficult to find a better engine suited to that vehicle than the 4.0, which is why they sold as many as they did and why they're as popular as they are.
Ben Winter says Kiwi's crusty classics.
Oh no, Kiwi stuff is
Yeah,
way above.
Kiwi makes beautiful things.
I look at what Kiwi does, and then I go back to my place and I want to take a hammer and just beat all my stuff.
Oh yeah, our stuff is garbage.
Yes.
Total garbage. Let's see. One-Eyed Cat says aluminum block 225. If the sleeves are still good, is it worth rebuilding? The motor is still complete right down to the vent tube. It looks promising.
The deck is the issue. The deck is the issue. So the sleeves are probably going to look okay. And you can go, I know that they'll take a 10 over bore, just a clean up bore. I wouldn't worry about the condition of the sleeves themselves. It's the deck. Because what happens is the combination of the stainless in the head gasket, the antifreeze, and the aluminum block create electrolysis. And the iron liner creates electrolysis, and it etches away at the aluminum around the liner. And that's where the problem is with those engines.
Okay, let's move on from that.
No, what is it?
No. We're moving on from the meatbag thing. Okay. Let's see. UTB, careful with that XJ piston knock. Mine windowed the block.
Yeah, it's
GTI
okay.
Warrior says.
The blocks are a dime a dozen.
Jim Kellogg, can you answer the question? I was told that L blocks come with no certification yet.
I have no idea.
You don't know?
I know nothing. When it comes to emissions and certifications and blah, 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 I know nothing. And I remain willfully ignorant.
Joseph F says, how's Bottle Rocket? She ready for the big bad Ford?
Bottle Rocket is sitting there ready to go. Ready to go. Um, Based on the last time we ran it, I'm very confident that we're going to give Casper a run for its money. So the car's just sitting there. I mean, it's literally just sitting there. I air up the tires every couple of days because it starts to go down a little bit. I air up the tires and I'm just waiting for Andy.
One Eye Cat says again, so if the deck is still good, it would be a good candidate to
Yes.
rebuild?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. I guess Buff Del Campo was in here somewhere. People were talking to him, but I didn't see his comment.
Buff Del Campo.
Let's see.
And Kim.
Barrow's Garage is also in here, but I did not see Barrow's comments.
Hello, Barrow's Garage.
Because I only know because people are like, hi, Barrow's. Hi, Buff.
Well, there's also Buff's Garage.
Oh, okay.
There's Buff Del Campo and there's Buff's Garage.
There's a Buff in here.
Okay.
Jim Kellogg, do Edelbrock Harbors come with low certification jets? I live in Denver.
I don't know what you mean by certification jets. I have no idea what you mean.
For the emissions?
Yeah, but I have no idea. They come calibrated for an average, right? But you change the drop rods to lean or richen the carburetor. You can change the drop rods, you can change the springs. There's a tune-up kit that you can get for these things that have a whole assortment of drop rods and springs and so on and so forth, so that you can fine tailor the carburetor to your specific environments. But they come calibrated from the factory for an average. So it'll work 100 feet below sea level, 1,000 feet above sea level. It's kind of like there in the middle.
Oh, it's Buff Del Campo. He says we made it home today with no problems.
I told you.
Okay. Let's see. Kenny Pinkerton. Any thoughts on performance mods for a 1956 Plymouth 230 Flathead 6?
The floating power 6. There's, no, see, I don't know enough about those engines. I think they're really cool. I never gave any thought to hopping one up. There are people who do, and if you do a Google search, I'm sure you'll find, people who are dedicated to that engine. They're cool motors. They're really cool motors, but I don't know enough about them to say, well, do this and do that.
Let's see. Frank C says, hey, Uncle Tony, what are you going to do when the government raises our gas prices so high that we will be forced to drive electric cars?
It won't happen. So you got a phenomenon right now of demand destruction. So you had, when gas prices peaked, you had a lot of activity and a finite amount of fuel because the government did some really strange things. Let's not talk about that. So gas prices went nuts. But in the meantime, over the last couple of months, economic activity across the country has slid hardcore, and that creates what's called demand destruction. So while gasoline should still be in the $5, $6, $7, $8 range, because there's so much less of it being used as an aggregate across the whole country, right now you've got a glut of gas as opposed to a shortage of gas. So don't worry about it going at $8 a ton because of trying to force us into electric cars. The electric car thing is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It can't happen.
Billy Bob Holcomb says, I just got my Uncle Tony's merch and I can already feel my hair growing back. That's awesome.
Back.
Thank you for ordering our merch, Billy Bob. Joe Brennan says, I love financial advice. This isn't financial advice. We don't give financial advice.
So, but right now, you're seeing a dip in prices because of demand destruction.
Killing Cursive Customs says the gas automotive market, classic car market, and truck market are huge. They can't go electric without taking a hit.
See, I'll give you an example right now. So currently, gas prices are way down. They're like $2.49 a gallon here right now. But the refineries typically for the Christmas season step up production. There's a lot of production, but there's nobody shopping at the stores. The malls are empty. The stores are empty. Literally, this month, December, on a weekend especially, there's gridlock in the city because people from, let's say, a 50-mile radius around us come to this area to do their shopping. The people from the rural areas come to do their shopping. So the Christmas season is generally gridlocked through this whole city. You can't get anywhere. So yesterday, Saturday night, in Murfreesboro, during the month of December, usually, like, just forget it. Don't even bother leaving the house because you can't get anywhere. And yesterday, I drove around last night, drove home, no problem at all.
It was like that last week. I think everybody shopped early.
No, people are shopping online.
Oh, I got stuck in traffic big time.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, really bad.
Well, and now I went the back way to where you were, and I went through the Dillards.
Right.
You know what Dillards
Yeah.
is? The parking lot was empty.
Oh,
It was
Dillard's
7
is always
o'clock.
empty.
No, but the point is, that would normally be during the holiday season. Crazy.
Well, they closed early. They closed at like 8.
No, it was only about 5 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm saying is you see a dip in prices right now because the refiners generally gear up production for the holiday season because there's so much shopping traffic that goes on. But
Well, and usually air travel.
And air travel.
Travel in general.
But all of those things are down, and so there's a glut of fuel, and so the price comes down.
One-Eyed Cat says UTG, who nowadays makes a head gasket for the aluminum block 225, or would it be a custom order?
Yeah, I would call Cometic or one of the gasket manufacturers and ask them.
Barrow's Garage says when everyone goes EV, it will do the same thing that diesel did when everyone bought a Dodge in the 90s. Diesel shot up, so electricity will go through the roof.
That's besides the point. The grid literally can't handle it. Like California, they in one breath. Okay, by 2035, no gasoline cars. Everything's going to be EV. The very next day, don't charge your EVs. We're having rolling blackouts. Yeah. And there's only like they only comprise like 2% of the cars on the road. It's physically, literally impossible to make this conversion from gasoline to EV over the next 5 years, 10 years. It's not going to happen. And now you're seeing. I just watched a video last night. I was flipping. I don't know the name of the channel. It's a father and son. They do like reviews on things. Okay, so here's the situation with this. They buy a new Hummer, an EV Hummer. They paid $118,000 for it. It's gonna be someplace in that range, over $100,000 for this thing. They had it for like a week. He's on his way to wherever he's going in traffic, okay? He stops and everything drops dead on him, right? Now he's in the middle of the road, okay? And he can't get it to reboot up. So he can't get it to go. He can't get it out of park. He's stuck in traffic. There's a cop behind him now, right? And he talks about, he's saying that if this cop wasn't behind me with the lights on, I'd be afraid because somebody's just going to ram into the back of this thing. They can't push it off to the side of the road because the system has locked up and it won't let it come out of park. So this 10,000-pound vehicle is stuck in the middle, brand new, week old, $118,000, 10,000-pound vehicle is stuck in traffic in the middle of the road and they can't get it out of park to push it out of the way. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. And then you got Hoovie's Garage. They did the same with the Lightning. He bought a Lightning. And he did a video about it, the range on it, how it didn't get, when he first got it, that when you tow with it, you don't get anywhere near the range that you're supposed to. Okay, no surprise there, right? But now it's cold. And he said that the range, they're getting rid of it, he's selling it, because the range has dropped off to the point that they just, it used where you're supposed to get like 150 miles, he's getting like 70 miles. And that's because it's winter, it's cold, so you got to run heat, you got to run into fog or whatever it happens to be. It's using more electricity. If they have a heated steering wheel, it's using electricity. It kills the range. It's just not feasible. It's not doable. The technology isn't there.
Squirt McGirt says, I'm worried about wearing my I hate cars shirt in public and being mistaken for a walkable cities nerd.
No, I tell you, man, when I wear that shirt, I get the most comments. You know, I'll go to get coffee or whatever, and people will be like, I love that shirt. That's a great shirt. Where'd you get that?
Where'd you get it? Do you tell them?
No.
So they can go order one?
No, I don't.
Oh. Let's see. I'm way behind now. I am way behind.
You catch up.
Sorry,
I'm
guys.
gonna open the door for the
Wow,
girls.
I'm so behind.
Okay.
Okay. Well, he disappeared. Now I
I
can't
disappeared.
ask him a question. Let's see. Cold is bad for batteries. Yeah. Can't package food without using petroleum derivatives. Yes. Sometimes things are better left mechanical. Yes. Let's see. I'm always pushing my Dakota. Hurry up, Tony.
I'm coming. I have to let the girls out.
He's coming back. You let the dogs out. Do you sell Uncle Tony's Garage t-shirts? We do.
Yes. At UncleTony'sGarage.com.
UncleTony'sGarage.com.
Uncle Crystal makes them.
Yeah, we print them here.
We print them ourselves.
Hello from the People's Republic of New Jersey.
New Jersey, yes.
What's up, Vince Renter? Honda 350 Racer says, see how many people get into EVs and how they like it if it didn't work out like they thought.
That's the common thing. Now you've got the people who are like committed EV people. And I get that. There are EV enthusiasts, and I'm not knocking them. It's a cool thing, especially Tesla people. There's a lot of people who are just into EVs, the same way we're into, big blocks or whatever it happens to be. They're into EVs, and I respect that. And I could find myself getting into an EV in that respect, from a performance standpoint, can you play with this thing? What can you do with it? I get that. I understand it. I relate to it, and I think it's cool. I don't think that's going anywhere. I think you're always going to have EV enthusiasts. It's the average person who's not a car person who buys into the idea, the panacea of the benefits of an EV. And when they find out the actual reality of it,
Well, poor man 1978 says, I LMFAO the other day when I heard FedEx is starting to use EV vehicles in semi-trucks.
oh, jeez.
The delivery vehicle seemed like it was doing 25 miles per hour on the highway.
Yeah,
It's not going to work.
No, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
We don't have hats. We're going to order hats.
Yes,
we're going to order more hats.
Look away.
We've been a little busy. Oh, I got to look away. He's rolling a cigarette. Okay, let's look at my messy desk. It is a mess. Oh, look, you can see me holding the camera. Trucker hats. You want trucker hats, Harry?
No.
Tony doesn't like trucker hats. He says
don't like
no.
Dad hats. Everybody's got to
Chef Ken says EV is doo-doo.
Yes, EV is doo-doo.
That's a good t-shirt. EV is doo-doo. All right. Dakota says trucker hats are great. I don't know. Tony hates them. I don't know why. I don't know. Eric Dale says, any suggestions for a Pontiac engine build?
No, I don't.
No. Robert Den says cowboy hats. You done rolling that cigarette?
Cowboy hats.
My
would be cool.
workstation, yeah. I got my glass of water and my computer. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. He's done.
Hey, cowboy hats would be cool.
Cowboy hat. UTG beanies. Oh, let's see. What's the difference between a trucker hat and a baseball hat?
The trucker hat has like a squared off bill that sits up high.
Yeah, but it also has the
And it has the
perforations.
vents.
Yeah.
Right.
And the regular hat doesn't have it. It's just all cotton.
Right.
Yeah. Just finished de-icing my driveway with the flamethrower. World of wood chip.
Done that.
Mm-hmm.
You use a cinnamon torch, gasoline. I've poured gas. Gas does a pretty good job of melting the ice, and then you light
That's not environmentally acceptable,
it. I'm not
Tony.
an environmentally. I wish I was. I wish I cared about the environment, but I don't.
Oh, Doug Norton says, my birthday was last week and my mother-in-law got me a super cool Hastings Piston Rings hat. Oh, happy birthday.
Thanks.
Happy
Happy
belated
birthday.
birthday. Squirt McGirt would buy a UTG beanie for sure.
I love Hastings rings. There's something about There's something that makes me feel good inside when I buy a box of Hastings rings.
Yeah.
I don't get that from any other ring manufacturer. I don't really even get that from any. I don't know why that is. It's weird. I can't think of any other part that I get that I feel but hey, for some reason it's weird. I never even thought about this, but it's true.
Are they paying you to say this?
No,
Okay.
they don't know. I order stuff like everybody else does. But yeah, I'm thinking about this now.
You got the hots for Hastings rings?
I got a hots for Hastings rings. Hastings rings, when I get a box of rings, Hastings rings make me feel warm inside.
Oh, that's nice.
I
The
don't know.
Hastings logo is really cool too.
I don't know why that is. Maybe
it's the
because
logo.
it hasn't changed since I was a kid.
Maybe that's what it is, yeah.
You know?
It gives you the warm fuzzies, right?
Yeah, and they're wrapped in that wax paper.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just did an engine the other day, and it had what rings? There were sealed power rings, and they came in this plastic, right? And it's like, and I remember like ripping open the plastic, and I'm like, ew, you know. And then instead of having
You
a
like
dot,
the old school.
yeah, instead of having a dot on the second ring, it said top. It had like laser etched in there. It said top, right? And I was like, no, I want a dot. I want a freaking dot. I don't want it to say top. I want a dot. And I want wax paper. When I want to take my rings out of the package, I want wax paper. So yeah,
You're lucky because it's old school.
Hastings rings. I am going to put Hastings rings decals on our cars.
You are?
Yes, just because they make me feel good.
Okay. They don't have to pay you to do it.
No, they don't have to pay me. They just have to keep being themselves.
Joe Brennan says, I want a dot.
No, seriously, it was like, it was disconcerting to me. Because I'd never seen that before.
Yeah.
And I opened up this newfangled white plastic package that they come in, right? Like Pop-Tarts, okay? I open it up, and I take out the ring, second ring, right? And it says top in white letters, like laser etched into the ring. And where's my dot?
Aww.
There's no dot.
They have to send you a t-shirt. I'll get you a Hastings t-shirt, okay? You can advertise for them for free.
Yeah, everybody go buy Hastings rings. Whether you need them or not, just go buy Hastings rings.
They'll give you the warm fuzzies.
They'll give you the warm fuzzies.
Okay, Billy Bob Holcomb says some manufacturers do not respect our rituals! Exclamation point.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Let's see.
Right? When you take the rings out, your 4 packages of rings, and you undo the wax paper and you lay them out in order, and they just lay there on the wax paper, nice, and expander, the oil rings, second ring, top ring, and so it's just like, yeah, I know.
Kiwi's Classics and Custom says, good night, Uncle Tiffany's Toga Garage.
I got nothing.
You got nothing.
I got nothing.
Good night, Kiwi.
Good night, Kiwi. I'm going to come by your place tomorrow and steal content from you.
Okay. I'm sure he'll be happy about that. Tim says, I never got off on ring logo.
What did you say?
Never got off on the ring logo. Let's see. Matt Quadagno says it's the vintage Hastings box. It's like Christmas every time you open one.
Exactly.
Let's see, talking to each other. Doug's Maintenance Shop says, I got a garage rebuild coming up. I'm planning on buying Hastings ductile rings.
There you go. They make nice Molly rings too.
Okay. Kiwi has passed out on the garage floor. What? He's tired. He's going to sleep. Tony, build a short bus, Mike Brunello says. Did you try and buy something using my Facebook Marketplace? Are you trying to buy a Dodge Winnebago or something?
Yeah.
Because somebody sent me a message like, do you want this? You know what? I bet you it's something that I messaged. It's the one I messaged like a year ago. Now she's asking me if I want to buy it. That green one, remember?
Yes.
Do you remember that one? It was like real cheap.
No, I don't want it.
I don't want it either. We got too much. We're trying to get rid of stuff. That was over a year ago.
I am. I'm trying to get rid of shit.
Yeah, we've got
We
too much.
gotta
We gotta clean
lighten
up.
the load. We gotta lighten the load. There's just too much stuff. It's the clutter is starting to get to me. I'm a minimalist.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, clutter makes me crazy.
She just cleaned up the room upstairs and she put a TV in there. It's a bare room, and like literally this conversation we had just before we came on here, it was like, don't put anything else in this room. It's so nice where it's just like it's open. It's there's nothing there. I like that.
Yeah, just clean, minimalistic.
Minimalistic.
Yeah, I won't add anything else.
Like
to
Mike
the-
Tyson. Remember Tyson?
Mhm.
When he was when he was in his glory,
Yeah.
right? And he didn't wear socks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was like, he's like, I'm gonna be a barbarian about this. You know what I'm saying? No socks, nothing, right? Just the bare war machine.
Mm-hmm. Empty house, empty mind. Yeah, I don't like clutter. It makes me crazy. I can't think straight when everything is cluttered. So yeah, we need to clean stuff out. I'll trade for that white Roadrunner.
No,
Tony won't get rid of that.
no. There's certain things I will get rid of, but nothing that's like anything that we put together is not for sale. Other stuff that I don't care about. If we pick it up or whatever, it goes. Not a big deal. But anything we put together is not for sale.
Mike N is laughing, saying, "Ha, a minimalist." Well, because you have a lot of stuff. So saying you're minimalist is kind of
I
hard to
admit
understand.
I have too much stuff.
Yeah, we gotta get rid of
I'm
stuff.
really good at accumulating stuff, as most gearheads are. But I need to.
Billy
unclutter a
Bug
little bit.
Holcomb says, "What can you give up? I have overloaded my garage with old and cool old parts. What to give up for space?"
I still have a bunch of stuff when I was in the Mopar business. When I was dealing parts, like the attic is full
It's
of
full
parts.
of parts.
I have that. I mean, it's random stuff. It's like heater controls for a 6364 for a 63 Dart. It's like I got like 3 sets of them up there.
But there's doors and fenders up there.
There's doors and fenders that I'll never
You
for
should
cars that I'll
probably.
never use. A fender up there for like a 74 Dart. And it's like,
There's Roadrunner doors.
well, I'll keep the Roadrunner doors because we got a Roadrunner.
Right.
Like we got Roadrunner backlash. We got stuff like that. So that stuff I'll keep.
Cold War Motor says, "I also have a lot of stuff." Yeah.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
UTG junk sale. Huh.
I'll tell you what happens. Here's why I have a problem with clutter or with stuff. Not even clutter. It's the stuff. It's because I will look like, for instance, here at the house. Okay, I have. Okay. All right. Here at the house, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 440 blocks, bare 440 blocks. I only have one car that has a 440 in it, my 67 Charger. There's nothing I want to do to that car. There's nothing I want to do. The engine is great. I don't want to change anything about it. So I've got 5 440 blocks and absolutely nothing to do with them and no. So what happens is I'll look at one of these blocks and I'll be like, oh, I should do this and this and this and build it this way and do that and do the other thing. And they say, but I don't have anything I want to put it in because everything that I have has the engine that I want in there. So it's like what happens is you have these extraneous things, you have these things, and they take your mind to the places that are unproductive because you'll find. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, of course.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
It's like project fodder, but I don't want any more projects.
Right. Jivas, may I please ask if you could answer my question? What's your question? I just scrolled up, but I didn't see it. Ask it again. I'll look for it.
I have even more 383 blocks. So I have 2 cars that take 383s, and I don't want to put 440s on. I like the low deck motors, but I've got at least 6. So I've got 5 440s. I've got at least 6 383s and 1 400. All laying around here with absolutely nothing to do with any of them.
I'm looking for that guy's question. I don't see it yet. I'll keep looking. Let's see. Ari says we need a 383 for at zero.
You guys are a long way away. You can buy 383s cheap.
Yeah. Be good if you were closer. Let's see. Dakota says I put a 426 Hemi in my Trans Am. Blocks are assets.
I got rid of all my Hemi stuff. Because that was another thing. I kept looking at Hemi stuff. I had a couple of blocks, I had heads, I had all kinds of stuff. This is about a year ago. And I was like, I don't want to do anything. Like, every car that I have, here's what happens. When I start on a project, I envision the engine that's, like I build the project around the engine. Does that make any sense? So, because I'm an engine guy, I love engines. And then kind of like the car is just a package to wrap around the engine. So every project car that I start begins with, I want it to be this engine. So all of the cars that I currently have the engines in them that I want to be in the car. And the car was conceived around it. So when you have something like a Hemi, for example, it means I would have to either start another project or redo one of my existing cars to fit this. But the whole car is based around the engine that's already in it. Does that make any sense? Or am I being too OCD about this?
OCD.
Probably OCD, but that's the method behind my madness. I got rid of all the Hemi stuff about a year ago.
Here's G. Vass's question. How do I go about looking for a good quality paint shop? I have painted a 2007 Toyota Yaris and the paint starts to get messed up 3 to 4 years after.
You just got to buy a better paint.
No, he's looking for a paint shop. How do you find a good quality paint shop?
Bro, I don't know. I don't know. You got to ask recommendations.
Yeah, go to a car show and talk
Yeah,
to those
go to a
people.
car show and they'll tell you.
They'll tell you. They won't hold back.
They won't, right, exactly. They'll tell you exactly who's good and who's not.
Yeah, you'll hear who's
Go
bad
to
first.
find your cars and coffee. And
Yeah,
just,
go there.
yeah.
They'll be like, don't go to this guy.
Remember that one guy with the Barracuda?
Which one?
It's about 10 years ago. Mark. That black Barracuda.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
paid $12,000 for a paint job, and the car had this giant ding
yeah.
that they just painted over.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What was the deal with 400 block 440s? I don't know what that means.
No idea.
Tony, your cup overfloweth.
I have too much, and I need to clear up a little bit.
He says, oh, cool, thanks for the tip. Yeah, I think that's the best paint tip there could be.
Ask the people who've been there.
Good paint shop, ask a meat bag.
What is it?
Good paint shop, ask a meat bag.
Ask a meat bag.
That's not nice. That was funny, though. Oh, nice 47. Okay. A quality paint job will cost more than the Yaris is worth, 47 says. Funny. Let's see. Big Belly Racing says, UTG, have you ever rebuilt a seized AC compressor? Replacement not available.
No. Can't say I have. I can't say I have. I know you can rebuild like the old Chrysler V2s and stuff. You can rebuild, I know that the older GM, the iron rotaries that they used, those were rebuildable. The later ones, the aluminum case ones, I don't think those are rebuildable. I'll tell you, to be perfectly honest with you.
XJ David says 400, 440 crank and 440 heads.
That's okay. That's a 452, which I actually have one. It's a part. I don't really have a home for it. It may end up in It may end up in either Slaghammer or my '68 Roadrunner, but not for a long time. I love the fact that Slaghammer is a 383. That's like my favorite part of the car is the 383.
Barrow says that's rock solid advice, UTG. If you want to find the best and worst auto body shops, car shows, and cruise nights, and talk to people. It's worked for decades.
Yep.
Yep.
Plus, you get to meet other car people.
Yeah. Let's see. Joe K sent you $5.
Thank you, Joe.
This feels like the magic question, but how do you plan to hoard and stockpile parts but get rid of stuff at the same time / not enough space?
There's parts, I hoard parts that specifically fit the cars, the vehicles that I have. For instance, now, I picked up that one XJ and fell in love with it, right? So, and I drive it constantly. So, when it came time, I picked up a couple of other XJs, but right away I knew it was one of the reasons why I got rid of the other ones that I had picked up was because the interchangeability wasn't there with the 98. So when I went looking for another XJ, it had to be another 98. So this way I could stockpile the engine ECM, transmission controller, just all of the odds and ends that make those vehicles work. So I'll have an alternator on the shelf. Like this is a reason to just go out and pick up the parts for that thing and keep them. So because I have two of the same, and so it's easy to stockpile parts. And I would not get rid of stuff like that. I have from my Mopars, I've got alternators, I've got starters, I've got water pumps, and I won't get rid of any of that stuff because when I need a water pump, I just reach on the shelf, put it in, and done. So that stuff stays, but you got to remember something. I was in the parts business for what, 11 years?
Yeah, it was a long time.
Right?
Yeah.
I was in the parts business for like 11 years. So I was buying and parting out cars like no tomorrow, and so I have odds and ends and pieces for stuff that now like for instance,
we got to clean out the attic.
Yeah, up in the attic, right?
Yeah.
I used to make a ton of money on trim. Trim was one of the big profit things. So window trim, all the stainless that goes around the windows, roof trim, top of door trim, all these like chrome doodads and stuff like that. And so I bought as much of it as I could. And there were some parts cars I bought specifically for the trim. So, example, 67 through 69 Cuda notchback. The trim around the back window, put it on eBay. It's $400, was $400 back then. I have no idea what it is now, or if everybody's reproducing it. But you buy a 67 Barracuda notch that's like wrecked and totaled and garbage in every way, shape, and form, you're still going to get $400 just for the trim around the back window. So because I was doing that professionally for 11 years, I have a stockpile of trim up in the attic now that I can't identify. I've been away from the business now for 5 years. And it's like, I don't remember what the stuff came off of. When I was active in the business, it was like, oh, okay, well, here's dark window trim, here's Belvedere window trim, whatever. But since I've been away from it, and I didn't mark any of this stuff, now it's just this pile of trim, and I have no idea what any of it fits anymore.
Let's see. Chuck Q. Farley says you have to hoard parts today. If you find things like a decent mini starter or water pump, buy 2 or 3 of them when you can.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Let's see. Question: Clifford recommends dual headers to an X-pipe with their 225 decked 100 board 60 dual Weber intake on the 225. Thoughts on this?
I would not run any dual exhaust, honestly. There is no argument. Even the sound is horrible. There is no argument that could make me say running a dual exhaust on a slant is a good idea. Open headers is a different story as long as you've got a really long collector, but a dual exhaust on a slant is counterproductive. You want to run your headers, providing you're going to run a full exhaust system, you want to run your headers into a big diameter, 2 3/4, even a 3-inch diameter single, and that's going to be your best sounding for sure, and best functioning. Exhaust.
They'll be talking about this on Fabo tomorrow.
Yes. Oh, I got Fabo trolls too. Here's what happens.
Nathan McCrae, wait, do you have to go into it?
No, go
okay.
ahead.
Are you ever going to put a big engine in Bottle Rocket?
No, it'll always be a small block.
Okay.
But, and here's the big but. It will definitely be a small block because that combination is perfect. I love it. I had never done a small block B-body before. And the way the suspension and everything works, it's perfect. So I am going to stick with a small block in that car, but I've been watching these no prep videos, small tire no prep videos now, for the last couple of weeks, and I'm like,
What are we gonna do, Tony?
this car needs to go run somebody. I gotta set up bottle rockets so I can bring it to War in the Woods and actually maybe hope to go a couple of rounds.
That would be fun.
It would be fun, and I think it's capable. So it'll stay a small block, but probably not a 318. It'll be a 318 for the time being. But I think I'm going to build something in the 370, 380 inch range, and it's a 300 shot, and try the small tire no prep thing.
That'd be fun.
It would be a lot of fun.
Dano sent you $10.
Thank you, Dana.
Hey Tony, do you know the crankshaft balance factor in the old nitro engines? What compression ratio did they have? Thanks for the videos.
There was no crankshaft balance factor. Everything those assemblies were never balanced. All of the rods that were available were of a specific weight. All of the cranks that were available were weighted to those rods. All of the pistons were in that range. So we never balanced those engines. It was you could take a Brooks rod and a KB rod and stick them next to each other in the engine. You have a Venolia, and you got five, and we've done that. Where there's like 5 different pistons in the engine, all with different compression heights, because that's one of the ways you can tune one of those engines. And you'd have 2 or 3 different types of connecting rods, and nothing was ever balanced because the manufacturers of those parts all agree on what the weights should be, and so they're all interchangeable like that. Compression ratio, see, that's another thing too. Like, we never really went by compression ratio. It was how far the piston was out of the hole. So all of those engines have 175 to 170 cc combustion chambers, and we would run pistons that were typically 120 to 180 out the hole, which would equate to, I guess this is something we never went by. You just go by how far out the piston is out of the hole. But that would equate to approximately 7 to 1.
Ari says, here he goes again, slighting Doug Dutra.
I'm not citing anybody, man. I'm just telling you like it is.
I think he's being sarcastic because he has the dual exhaust.
There's nothing wrong with the Dutra duals. They're fine. Run them into a Y pipe or run a big single exhaust out the back of the car. You've got a much more efficient setup than you had with the single outlet.
Mm-hmm. Ari's laughing. Ha ha ha.
Ha ha.
Yeah, he's just stirring the pot.
Yes.
They'll talk about it anyway. No matter what you say, Tony, they'll talk about it. Ari says, I can't pass up a chance to say that. I really can't. Oh, it makes them go crazy. Let's see. Let's see.
But yeah, we're talking about A bodies. So there's every time, like, I have a group of trolls on For Everybody's Own. So just to give you the history on this, I sold parts on a website called For Everybody's Only. And I was like one of the main sellers on that site. I would always have 10, 12, 15, sometimes 20 ads running the same time every day. Like, I never skipped a beat. This is what I was doing full time. And if you go to Fabo right to this day, and you look up sellers, and I used to sell under the name White Punk on Nitro. That was my name on Fabo. And if you look, you see that I'm like a top rated seller, and I had thousands of sales. The record is there. And there's like 2 negative feedbacks. There was one guy, the guy wasn't happy with the bumper that I sold him, or whatever it happened to be. Whatever it was like 2 negative feedbacks, and there's like, I can't even tell you how many hundreds of positive ones. But what happened was I was part of that Fabo community. And so I was an equal, I was a peer. And there were a couple of other professional sellers on there. So let's just say there's like 500 people selling parts on Fabo. And out of that 500, there's maybe like 20 or 30 professional sellers. So I was just in with that clique of sellers. But as soon as I left there and started doing YouTube, they turned on me. And it's like this weird thing. It's like they'll start a post, somebody will start a post mentioning like a video that I did or whatever. And you'll get these who were like my former like fellow salespeople. They go nuts. he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just making that up. He's an idiot. Blah, 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 blah. These are the very same people who, like, I used to talk back and forth with when I was selling, right? And it was like, oh, okay, you're a great guy. And then as soon as you go off and you do YouTube, it's like they feel like I've like gone to a place where they can't go, and it's like just a jealousy thing. That's what happens with the trolls. I know what happens with the trolls, and I feel for them.
Danny Boyd says, Tony, we were getting our parts from you.
Yeah, see? How did I do? Did I sell you good parts?
I hope so. I wrapped a lot of stuff.
Sure. God.
Oh my goodness.
We used to go to the furniture store like every 2 or 3 days
and get cardboard.
Giant sheets of cardboard. Oh, please. I would go to buy wrapping tape, the packing tape, and I'd go to the store and I would just buy all the packing tape.
I would sit all day on the living room floor wrapping fenders.
Yeah. And I would buy all the packing tape. We did this for years. We made a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it was good.
They hate us.
They hate us. But
they can't say anything nice.
It's the same thing with the trolls. And I feel for them because they hate me because they see what they could have been. And I'm not bragging on myself. I'm not saying, oh, I'm great.
They can make videos just the same. If they want to refute anything that you say, they can make videos the same way that you make videos.
Well, they do, but they end up shooting themselves in the foot. Like there was that one guy. We just did that video the other day on oil. Right, on the zinc and the oil. And a guy actually goes out, he makes a video. Oh, you're wrong, and I'm going to call you out on it. So I pinned the video. You got to watch this video. Go to the comments and I pinned it.
Danny Boyd says, stir up your trolls. It doesn't take much. They just do it on their own.
I feel bad for the trolls. I honestly do. Because what happens is, because I'm a regular person, I live in a regular house, and I live in a regular neighborhood, and I do regular things. I'm just a regular person. I think they see a failure in themselves because, well, I'm a regular person and I can't be successful on YouTube or known or anything like that. And so it's like they have there's an anger, there's a frustration. Whereas like if I came out wearing a uniform shirt and I was in a
it's very personal. That's the thing about it. Like it's not like they're not really disputing things that you do.
No.
Like it's all very personal as hacks, which is like really bizarre.
Right. Like I said, I feel bad for them. It's like a tragic kind of thing. But they literally make up. There's one story that goes around. Spider-Man tells a story about a time that I got kicked out of an NHRA track. I didn't pass tech, which never, ever, ever happened. The car never failed tech. It was always up to tech. But supposedly the story is that I took the car to Bowling Green, I think it was. I took it to a quarter-mile track, and they turned it away because I wouldn't pass tech because it was too rusty. There wasn't a speck of rust on my car. They turned it away. And that never happened. The car's never been turned away for tech. I've been doing this stuff long enough. I know what passes tech and what doesn't pass tech. I've teched cars. I know how to do this. So it's like the trolls, they look at me because I'm an average person and I'm not in a professional shirt. I'm not in a professional environment. I don't have a professional title. I'm not the technical manufacturer, quality.
Technical manufacturer.
No, I'm just Tony, who lives in a regular house in a regular neighborhood, drives regular cars, and talks in a regular way, and dresses like regular. And I dress like a Hasidic Jew, for Christ's sakes, just all black all the time, right? So they look at me and they're like, well, how come this guy can be so successful and he's just regular and I'm regular, but I can't be successful, and it kills them, and they literally make things up.
They're very angry at you personally for like
making
videos.
Personally,
for making videos, like it's really
the craziest thing. There's like they tell stories about how I've gone bankrupt and stuff like that. I have never. Have I ever gone bankrupt?
No, we've never gone bankrupt.
Have I ever? I have never once in my life ever even considered bankruptcy.
Right, no.
No.
It's crazy.
I get into businesses because I want to be in that business. And as soon as I don't want to be in that business
Yeah, we
anymore,
stop.
I stop.
We do something else.
It literally this has happened.
Because we get bored, to be
It's happened
honest.
about 10 times. It lasts about 2 years.
Yeah, we get bored.
I'll start a night business because I have my day gig, right? And the day gig is always around cars. It's always either writing about cars or fixing cars or whatever it happens to be. And now it's YouTube cars. And then I'll have a business that isn't related to that. So like I have a balanced life. Like I have a little bit of everything. So I've had coffee houses, a hookup thing. We did an art gallery. We've had so many businesses, over the years. And what happens is I get tired of it. I'm like, okay, hey Kat, we got extra like 15 grand. Let's do this. And she'd be like, no, I don't want to do that. And I'll be, come on, let's do it anyway. And she'd be like, okay, let's do it, right? So we'll start a business and we'll run it for like a year, 2 years, whatever it is. And then it's like, I don't feel like doing this anymore. Like, okay, and I'll tell whoever's working there or whoever the hang's hanging out, and I'll tell them, what, next month we're gonna close. And they'll be like, okay. And then we have a big closing party, and then that's it. And then I just move on. I have never once in my life ever gone bankrupt. I would consider, I would, to me, that's like, I would kill myself before I went
No,
bankrupt.
don't say that. David Leonard says, Cabral claims you failed tech because the front shocks were worn out and non-functional. Like a 90-10 drag shock is functional. Laugh out loud.
No,
He's making things up. Obviously, the man doesn't know what he's
shock
talking
absorbers
about.
are not a tech item. They look to see if they're
Well,
there.
David Leonard knows. He
Yeah.
understands. He's just relating what he says.
Yeah. Shocks are not a tech item. The 90-10, when you deal with a torsion bar from suspension, the 90-10 is even still too restrictive. That 10 going up is even still too restrictive because the torsion bar wants to unload fast. So the way you make a torsion bar unload fast is have no resistance. And so you drill a hole, you let the oil out, it passes tech because there is no specification for a shock, just that the shock has to be there. That's all it is. Look at any rule book and it'll tell you the shock just has to be there.
Wayne Ferguson says, hey Tony, how heavy is the tilt front on slag hammer and is it easily removed for race purposes?
Yes, it comes off with 2 pit pins. It's very easy to remove. It's on the heavy side. I never weighed it. There's some more weight that I could take out of it. I'm doing a video tomorrow on that car because I've been working on the scoop and the top of the carburetors and everything. And so I'm actually doing a whole video on what I'm working on there. It's the scoop. The video is really about air management, not so much specific of that car, but air management and the things that I'm doing to that end. But
You got asthma? You okay?
oh yeah, Chinese. I eat a lot of Chinese.
You need a drink of water?
I
What do you
wolfed it
need?
down. I finished my
Okay.
soda. Oh,
Here, have
you
some
saw
water.
the soda? No,
Here.
I have a sip of soda.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, for the record, I have never, ever once gone bankrupt.
Okay.
Ever.
All right, we're almost done here. We're 2 hours in.
Okay.
All right. Last comments. Billy Bob Holcomb, is here a fiberglass tilt front end for that car? Is there?
There isn't.
No.
And I'll tell you the truth, honestly, even if there was, I like the metal front end because it's just, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's just a thing.
Tula Toilet says full steel. You know what I love? I love how some of these people have been with us from the beginning, like Tula Toilet.
Yes.
Like you, one of our first subscribers.
I know. And believe me, I'm grateful for it and I recognize it.
We appreciate that you've hung out this long.
We started out pretty rough.
Oh, it was rough. It's still rough.
Yeah.
It's so
It
rough.
hasn't gotten much better actually. But we started out pretty rough and you guys have been around since the beginning.
We appreciate that. Zero
Honestly.
says old timers. Yep. Yep. We recognize the names. Let's see. Make a shirt that says I went bankrupt. No, we didn't go bankrupt. You're rolling a cigarette, Tony. Let's look at my messy workstation. Okay.
Yes. So for the record, I have never ever once failed tech.
You done?
Well, no, wait. Yes, when I was a kid, yes, I failed tech several times, right? When I was 18. There's a big difference now. And in Tech at Englishtown was really, they were like cross your T's, not your I's, because it was done under the New Jersey State Troopers. So there was no getting around stuff. Like, then I was like, you go take a typical car and something that isn't quite exactly perfect, you can usually reason out with the tech inspector where they'll tell you, okay, well, just don't go any quicker than this today, or whatever it happens to be. But at Englishtown, where New Jersey tracks, where the state troopers were involved in it, nothing, everything had to be exact. So, yeah, way back in the 80s, 70s and the 80s, I may have failed tech a time or two. But no, at no point in my adult life have I failed tech. I have teched cars. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not like I'm a stranger to the process of teching cars. I have teched cars. So I know, obviously, when I bring something to the track, it's going to pass tech.
GFS says, I found your channel through Appalachia's Homestead.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Nice. Patara's awesome.
Patara's awesome. We love her. Become ungovernable. Casey says. Let's see. But the new videos are great, Dakota says. Dakota says you like the old videos.
Thank you, Dakota.
And we appreciate you guys hanging out.
I'm trying
with
to think
us.
one of the rumors I can squash while we're here.
Thank you, Casey. Don't worry, let the rumor mill go.
No,
this is what Patara goes through all the time. She goes through worse than we go through.
I know.
It's every larger YouTube channel has to deal with this.
There's the other thing. There's the other thing too. Like people, and I've seen this actually come up. People discussing, like, there's no way this guy has done all of these things. But here's something you have to understand about me. I got thrown out of school when I was 16. Went to work, and I have worked 7 days a week since then. And I've always worked for myself. So because I work for myself, I'm able to do all of these. Like, I've never been chained down to a job where for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, whatever it is, you go to the same office or the same shop and you do the same thing and the same thing and the same thing. And it kind of limits your life experience. Because I've never had a job and I've always been a hustler, I've done, in my life I've had that option of, like, on a Tuesday afternoon, there's somebody running in a match race in Michigan and the clutch guy, he broke his finger and he can't show up. Hey, Tony, can you make it there? Well, yeah, sure, because I'm self-employed. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll be right there. And so that's how I've been able to do the things that I've done. I've never had a job. So and the constant hustling, which isn't for everybody. But a lot of people will look at me and say, well, he has no visible means of support. Do you know what I mean? But yet he's managed to do all of these things. It's because I'm a hustler. I hustle all the time. I'm always thinking, I'm always working, I'm always, on it.
So see, I have a troll.
You have a troll?
Yeah, Dean Stevenson is trolling me.
Hey, Dean, how are you?
He says, Uncle Kathy is way too aggressive, but I like her because she has a nice husband.
Aww.
You have no idea. Let's see. Bring back stressed chicken? Yeah. Yes, but Tara's constantly getting crap from trolls. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's what happens is people look at people like us, me, Patara, that have found success in YouTube. And they're like, it makes them feel inadequate in some way, and they externalize it by trolling. And that's the troll mentality.
Yeah. Dean Stevenson says I'm going down. Oh, that's funny. Let's see. Sun swap, not pole shift, hyper cruising. You ever put an exhaust manifold?
Yes.
At zero is like Dean, and he's got the eyes, the googly eyes.
Are there any other rumors we need to clear up?
I don't know.
Well, I'm asking.
There's plenty of people that don't like me. That's fine.
I encourage people not to like me. Not the viewers, obviously.
Right.
I test people. Like,
right.
I tend to be. Okay, so there's really three me's. There's Tony making YouTube, which is pretty much the same as Tony around the house, normal around the house. Then there's Tony the recluse, where I'm I'm very introverted, extremely introverted. And then there's social Tony, and social Tony tends to be very loud and obnoxious, and it's like I kind of test people.
Social Tony's kind of a jerk.
Social Tony is a real freaking asshole. You won't meet that.
Kids
Tony.
are watching.
You won't meet
Kids
that
are
Tony
watching.
if you run into me someplace. Because you're a viewer, so you meet regular Tony that's the same Tony. Am I the same on YouTube as I am around the house?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm the same guy all the time.
Yeah.
And among people that I'm with that know me, I'm the same guy all the time. But if I meet somebody in a social situation,
Sometimes you're a jerk.
I'm an asshole. I go over the top because I deliberately try to
You
get
say
people.
things like to
I
rile
say
people up.
things. I say things that are just really over the top.
Yeah.
So, and it's kind of like I almost try to get people to not like me.
Yeah.
And it's like a test. Like if you get it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you get it, we're gonna get along great. And if you're offended by it, then it's like, we wouldn't make it very far as acquaintances.
That's funny. When I text says, UTG, I met you at Carlisle in 2021. You seem like a nice enough fella to me. Road toads for the win.
Yeah.
You are nice. Yeah, you're nice. You're very nice.
I am a nice guy. I don't.
Yeah. But sometimes you say things to stir people up.
If I'm in a social situation that has nothing to do with my business or my regular personal life, like if I'm an event, a party, a bar, whatever it happens to be, I am the asshole in the room. I become Tourette's guy.
Just say
I
anything.
am Tourette's guy.
Let's see. David Fernandez says, laugh out loud, my kids describe me what you just said. He just likes to get a reaction out of people.
Yeah.
So he says stuff to get reactions.
It's the truth.
Let's see. Yeah, Ari, right? Let's see. Rod's Vintage SXS channel says, hey, Tony.
What's happening?
All right, we're 2 hours in.
You go for a few minutes.
David Fernandez says, I'll test peeps socially to hold them accountable to play and depart.
When I had the coffee houses, that was my thing. I liked it. I was kind of bored. I found out most of the people who came in were on the meek side, and that's how I become ultra loud and obnoxious at that point. So
you
kind
gotta
of put on a show.
You got a super chat.
Thank you.
You used to do like a Howard Stern thing. It's like putting on a show like that.
Oh yeah, Howard Stern
Yeah.
had nothing on me.
Right. Loud Pipes Alives? No, I'm sorry. I didn't say that right. It's Loud Pipes. I don't know.
Loud Pipes Save Lives?
Something. Yeah, Loud Pipe Saves Lives. That's it.
Okay.
I'm tired. 1984. He sent you. $19.84.
Thank you very much.
He says, RIP Project X. Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past.
Where we go one, we go all.
Loud Pipes Save Lives, 69. I'm sorry I got your name wrong. It's been a long day for me. Thank you for the super chat. Does Errol Scheib still paint over body side moldings and chrome?
I have no idea. I haven't seen a real shot in 40 years.
Let's see. I ain't gotta give no treat fitty to no Loch Ness monster. what Ben Winter?
Well, he doesn't have to give no 350 to know like this month.
T-shirt idea. I am Tourette's guy. No, we can't steal that. Dakota says, Tony, is there a way to buy tires without having to sell your kidneys?
Yeah, I mean, you can shop around. You get some really good deals. Find the immigrant tire place in your town. What? What do you say no?
The way you said that.
Find the immigrant tire place. They're either going to be Mexicans
I think
or
that might be
Jordanians.
offensive.
Okay?
Somebody's gonna get offended by that.
Find those guys because they have all of the ins on cheap new tires.
They got the ins.
They got the ins.
G-Pass is laughing. It's true.
And paying cash. Always make sure you're paying cash.
Mexican Spec says Mexican what?
Mexican immigrants. Legal, illegal, I don't care. It doesn't make any difference. They were born someplace else and they came here. They're immigrants. I'm not saying it in any derogatory
You know what? They
way.
hustle.
They
That's
hustle.
why they have those businesses. They hustle. They're workers and they really, really hustle. Okay, Chivas says, I'm Mexican and not offended. He's
You should be.
Ah.
I have a Jordanian family that has a tire shop. These people work. I mean,
I go there and I think it's like the 70s.
right,
Because
exactly.
they're covered in dirt and they're working their butts off.
These guys are filthy. You get there in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, they're already
Very dirty.
filthy from head to freaking toe. They work. And those are the people who you want to deal with. You know what I mean? It's like, you tell me I need a set of tires for my Jeep, and I'll be like $500. And then you're like, well, no, I only have like $350, and they'll go $400. And you give them $400, and that's it. You got your tires,
Yeah, it's like old school kind of business.
which is literally what I just
yeah,
did. Yeah.
old school business. Tony Dakota says immigrant is not a derogatory term. No, it's not. Chivas says the ones that want to work will work. The lazy ones, you won't see them having shops or any other businesses. Yeah.
Well, there are people who come. There are two types of people who come to this country. Some that come for the bennies, right, and some that come for the opportunities. And the ones that come for the opportunities do really well for themselves.
Let's see. Dakota's laughing. Okay, it's after 2 hours. Are you
Okay.
done? Are we done?
Are they done?
Are we done, guys?
I'm just trying to think if there's any other rumors I need to squash.
I don't know. Ari, you going on after us? Mexican Spec says in the U.S. Mexican hustles. In Mexico, not so much. I don't know.
Mexican Spec.
I believe you, Mexican Spec.
I predict over the next 5 years, there's going to be a huge reverse immigration happening. I think that Mexico is going to get flooded with Americans and Canadians over the next 5 years.
That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
I'm telling you, it's about to reverse.
Okay, Ari's going to have his live.
Okay,
Coming
so
up.
if you guys are enjoying hanging out, you're enjoying each other's company, Ari, put up the link there. Ari does an after show following us, and I'm sorry we're so late tonight, but we had family over and we were doing stuff, and we had to put it off a little bit. So we're a couple hours later than we usually are, or an hour later than we usually are.
Oh, Ari's live now. He's on.
All right, so Ari is live now, so you guys can head over to Ari's channel and yap.
Go yap.
Go yap
Have
at
fun.
Ari's.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you. Everybody contributed to Super Chat. Thank you so much. It adds to it. It helps. Everybody contributed with just your just your conversation, your presence,
Super comments.
your super comments, your loyalty. Because we're grateful for it. You have no idea. Thank you equally. And tomorrow we're going to do an update on the Mission Impossible. Andy and David Bizard, what they're up to. And
You're going to visit Kiwi, right?
I'm going to drop it on Kiwi tomorrow and see what kind of content I can steal from him, because I obviously can't come up with any of my own.
Right.
And what else is there? I think that's it.
Go over to Ari's live, everybody. Zero
Yes.
just put up a link.
And Ari, Zero, Food Bar.
Thank you so much.
Always, thank you so much, guys.
All right. We done for the night?
That's it. We're done. Pull the plug.
All right. We'll
It's
see you
over.
guys next week.
We'll see you next week. Trolls, good night.
Good night, trolls. See you tomorrow.
Thank you for trolling us as dedicated as you are.
Good night, everyone.